account progression, a couple key things to note. Welcome back to Cocky Gachas, and in this video I'm going to share with you guys my personal account progression for Reverse 1999, but also to share with you guys my tips in formulating a strategy to target your own personal account progression. Because after all, a lot of people have left comments in the comment section below like, what should I do, what should I focus on, and I think that I do need to make a video to touch on that, since not everyone is at this current stage of my progression or are at different stages of progression depending on how long they've been playing the game. So if you're watching this video like 1 month out, still the things is going to apply for what I'm going to say in this video. But first, let's go through what I have thus far. And today is 1 day or a couple hours before the reset, and of course we've completed the story mode. But more importantly for Limbo, currently as you can see I'm on stage Limbo, stage 5-2. I've completed 5-1 of course with all the stars, but it's not enough to clear any of these rewards. But personally, I do think that if I wanted to clear it, I would have to plan earlier for it, to invest in low rarity units like Eagle and also a low rarity like the Fool, stuff like that, so that I can fill up my teams. But of course, I chose not to do that. That is also part of my decision, because I didn't think it was worth it in the long run. And also, my characters that I've used for the clears up to 5-1 so far has been this 4 units plus recently I just invested in Sonetto, and this is going to be my next plan as well. So Eternity, Resonance 9, I250, and over here you can see, right, a very big focus that I would like to drive across is going to be resonating your units, your carries, because resonance play a big difference. If you compare to yourself, your own characters that are of lower resonance, you will see that the stats are drastically different. So resonance is also very important. I wouldn't say that levels is the only thing that's very important. At times, resonance even more important than the levels, but for my rest of the units, I have not focused on them that much. Resonance 5, A-Knight is Resonance 3, Sotheby also Resonance 3, so I will slowly get them out, and Sonetto is at Resonance 3 as well. So just this team is able to clear to 5-1, and that is my current progression as of this stage. So going into the strategy forward, I will first going to share my strategy as well as my rationale, and then once you guys understand the rationale, you can formulate a strategy for yourself. So the first thing is that up until this point, I have been focusing and rushing on clearing resource stages, right? I've been forcing resource stages non-stop. I haven't been farming a single wilderness, and I do know that a lot of people have been advocating for maxing wilderness first, but my personal take is that it was not worth it at the point, and I'll give you guys some context as why I made the decision. So when the game started, the weekly update was a couple days, so I needed to first focus on rushing for clearing the weekly rewards. So I definitely wanted to get resource as much as possible. Wilderness is a very long-term thing, right? So of course you are going to spend it one time. If you spend it at the start, you are going to get more rewards in the future, but you are going to lose out on the EXP that you get in the short term, which means that you are less likely to clear as much stages so that you can progress further in the surface, etc. So for surface itself, I cleared all of the stages except for stage 10 when I first started before the weekly reset. So I got all of the rewards except one, so it's at 300 here. Then afterwards, I started to aim for the monthly reset, which was going to be in 2 hours time, which is going to be in 2 hours time. So I started to rush again, ignoring wilderness, trying to get my units as far as possible so that I could clear as many limbo stages as possible, because this is another reset. There is a lot of rewards. Just look at this, right? This is 400 free clear drops that I got, and all of these balls are very useful, and here I got extra 20. So if I do not rush for that, I went for wilderness first, potentially I might have cleared one less stage, and then I would have gotten a lot less of the clear drops and the ball. So I thought that that wasn't going to be worth my time to go for wilderness. But if you start at a game whereby you have a lot of time to the weekly reset, you start 7 days to weekly reset, maybe it's a good strategy to go for the wilderness first. But of course, since now that the Limbo reset is going to happen and the next reset for Limbo is going to be in 15 days, I have plenty of time to full clear Limbo. So now my focus changed again, the plan changed again. I'm going back into wilderness, and I'm just going to show you guys how far I progressed with just, I think, today's stamina itself and a bit of the save up. I'm already coming up to full dust. I think dust bell tower is already full. So yeah, all of this is already full. Previously it was all at 3 and some at 2. So already full, and then my coins, it's also one full, and then the two of the other ones are not full at all. So I'm also planning to max out the wilderness, and then subsequently I will work on the wishing spring so that I can craft some of the materials. And crafting materials, I think in the early game is not worth it at all because of the low insight requirements. Like for the lower insights, you do need a lot of this crafting material, so it was never worth it. And also for lower resonance, you potentially need to have this, but once you go across like certain thresholds, when you're not raising any more new units, you can definitely start crafting stuff. But at the start, I do not recommend at all. So depending on your stage, focus on different things. So this is my focus currently. It is on the wilderness. And at this point, you might be asking, hey Corky, you said that you want to full clear Limbo, but your team currently cannot full clear Limbo, right? It is only at 5-1. So what are you talking about? Now, the thing that I'm talking about is in 15 days time, I feel that I would have maxed out wilderness, and then the rest of the time I would have enough to first get DK. And like I mentioned, right, DK is on the 8th day, so I still have time. I can get DK, and then I would start to have all the income from the maxed out wilderness coming in, and also I would be able to raise 2 more units in DK as well as Soneto to have a full 16, and of course the resonance of these units would slowly go up as well. And more importantly, next one I'm going to talk about is the upcoming event. And what I'm referring to is the satellite event that's coming in 1.5 days. So this satellite event has also been taken into account for my personal strategy because we're going to get insight materials from this, which means that I don't have to spend as much stamina to farm for the insight materials to upgrade my units to full clear Limbo. So this is also part of the plan. If you're joining late, you're joining subsequently, whereby there are different events running, try to have a look at what of the events giving you so that you can plan accordingly. Hey, I have this materials that are coming up from the event, so I wouldn't have to spend as much stamina to do this or do that, and then you can plan accordingly for your own progression. And of course, for this satellite event, I didn't want to make a separate video for it. I'm just going to incorporate it in part of the strategy because it is such a mini event. And even here for Prydwen website, you can see that they have mentioned that this satellite column is a prelude event for the dead week before version 1.1, which is coming in roughly 8 days. So the Theft of the Remade Cup is coming soon. That is more of a main event. This is a mini event. You're just going to hunt for some of the units. You're going to get insight materials. You're going to cook up the stuff. It is a very, very casual event. It's nothing difficult. There is no strategy guide. I don't need to make a separate video for it. Just going to touch on it here. So all of the targets that you need to hunt for will be listed. Of course, when the event comes out, you don't have to refer to Prydwen website, but if you wish to take a look at it earlier, you can definitely come to Prydwen website to check it out. And all of these are the locations that you can find it at. And this one is like Prydwen analysis. You're definitely going to do it every single day. So day 2, day 3, day 4, as well as day 5. This is going to last 5 days, and then we're going to have 3 days downtime before version 1.1. So all of this, right, has been taken into account, whereby I feel that I'm definitely able to full clear Limbo in the upcoming 15 days. And also, I will be able to definitely get my surface to 100/100 so that I can get all of the rewards before the reset in 5 days. So this is just my plan, and depending on whether you are still at the earlier stages of the story arcs, you can plan accordingly. If you are still clearing surface, then your aim would be different, right? If you're clearing surface now, then your focus should be to clear before 5 days is up, and then subsequently look at the Limbo reset, which is in 15 days. So your priorities are going to be different, and the units that you want to raise is very, very dependent on this schedule. Because if you are currently trying to rush Limbo by 15 days, but you just started the game, then it is absolutely unrealistic for you to start raising all 6-star units and try to clear using 6-star units, right? Instead, maybe the consideration is for you to raise up lower rarity units such as Eagle, raise up lower rarity units such as a Fool, and even if you need a healer, the Lassos, and of course some of the other lower rarity units that are potentially good for supporting or even to use as a pseudo DPS, right? Oliver Fog that I mentioned previously. So all of these units are very, very decent. However, in the long run, we of course don't want to invest in lower rarity units, but that is just the general gist of how you should plan your account progression and what units to invest in based on the stage that you are in the game. Now, of course, if you're almost done with Limbo, just like me, you have been rushing the game, then maybe you are trying to save up for banners, but do you know how much pool income you're going to get as well as the upcoming banners that we are going to have in Reverse 1999? For that, definitely check out this video over here. I'll see you guys over there. This is Corky Gachas, signing off.